I started a spare time project. I'm building a power grader or driveway maintainer, whatever you want to call them, a dirt leveler. This is not the finished product, but I don't want to show you the finished product and ruin the suspense of the build. But I thought I'd give you an idea of at least where I'm going with it, so you have somewhat of an idea as I go of what I'm doing. I try to explain things as I go, and hopefully I don't talk too much. This is going to be a build series, which means I'm going to upload several videos for this. So be sure to watch them all, and if you like them, please click like. If not, let me know in the comments why you didn't like it. My channel is shaped on comments from you viewers, so let me know. Good or bad, I'd like to hear both. So, anyway, on to the build. Apparently all the oil has leaked out of my hydraulic cylinder, my bandsaw. It's all the higher I can lock it. think that shaft is none too straight. Down here too. See if I can get the right angle and you can see that. If you watch right in here, watch against the plasma cutter. Well, got a thing on what to do. I've only got 3 feet 10 inches between that bearing and that bearing. I wanted that roller to be at least 4 foot wide. So that's definitely narrower than I wanted. Got some ideas on that too. I guess I could maybe flip these mounts around and then cut that out a little bit. I wonder if I'd be strong enough. And I didn't want the leveler to be over 4.5 feet either, and that's what that rectangular tubing is. So I don't know, this isn't quite what I wanted. I didn't actually sit down and draw any of this out because I just kind of looked around at the stuff I had and I thought, yeah, if I put that there and that there, I'll figure out the little details later. I'll think on it. With that rod being bent, that really throws me for a loop. Went and got the other gang. So I'll pull the shaft out of there real quick. Really no reason to film it. Seen it once, so I guess I'll let you know if this one's straight. I spun it by hand, that's why I got it upside down like that, and it looked straight, so cross my fingers. And that shaft is straight. Good deal. Also, I'm going to turn around these braces here, flip them around 180. It'll give me a little bit more room. I can make the roller wider. That gives me a lot more room. The roller should be about here. So just at that distance, I now have 49 inches instead of 46 inches. So that gave me 3 more. And I'm thinking about cutting it, making a notch right there so that pipe can go into it. And that'll give me, well, I can easily gain another inch, maybe an inch on each side, I don't know. I'm going to try cutting down this disc off the gang and use that for the center when I make the roller. And to do that, I'm going to use my circle cutter that I made several years ago. I did have a video going over all this on my old channel. Of course, my old channel has now been deleted, and it wasn't a very good video. You know, I had pretty bad lighting in here. I was not using good editing software to make my videos back then, so I'll take this opportunity to talk about my little circle machine here a little bit more. It's pretty simple. I just point a few things out. It uses a window regulator motor off of a car for the power. I bought a sprocket, and I don't remember exactly what tooth it is, but it's pretty small, and I machined the inside out to fit on the window regulator motor. And then I bought a big sprocket, and I think this gives me better than a 3-to-1 year reduction, if I remember right. And that goes into a 1.25" shaft, which has 2 1.25" bearings inside that pipe. The reason I used 1.25" shaft is because I had bought that shaft and those 2 bearings for a project for a customer, and we ended up going a different size. So I had them left over, had them laying here. I decided it was perfect and I used it. If I did it again, I think I would actually buy like a 4 flange bearing for above and below, and just run a plate off of this frame here and just have the bearings that far apart instead of this huge distance apart. But whatever, you know, this is my first attempt at one. This is 2 C irons bolted back to back to kind of make an I-beam, and this pedestal has 4 bolts down here, so you can slide it in and out this way. And this square tubing also slides up and down on that square tubing, and also slides in and out on this square tubing. So basically, and then it holds the plasma cutter torch out here at the end. So turn it on. I have a light dimmer hooked up to an outlet on the 110, and that goes into my transformer to reduce it to 12 volt and also rectify it to DC, and that varies the speed. So if you watch over here, I'll turn it on and vary the speed. What I normally do is just turn it on and off with the switch here. That way it's constant, instead of using the dimmer switch for on and off. It's a lot easier. But I can go from stop and all the way up. That's full speed right there. And I do not have anything to automatically turn on the plasma torch. I just, pull the trigger by hand. I have a small magnet in here. It's one of those Neo magnets, rated to hold 15 pounds. And I have a little hole drilled here and tapered. So if I ever want to change this magnet, I can just blow it out of there. So if I'm cutting something really small in diameter, that magnet will overheat and lose its ability. Like right now, that one's still pretty good, but and you can see most of the fancy plating has gone off of it, though. It's gotten pretty hot. It's not quite as strong as it used to be. Still working. So a lot of things I can just stick on there, and they stay pretty darn good. That's really great for making pipe caps. Like if I'm building corral or something, I make a lot of them about this size actually. And so I just set the piece of square metal on there and cut it and set the next one on. It doesn't have to be on center, just as long as my metal is set so the plasma cutter doesn't cut past the edge, if you know what I mean. But anyway, so I can take that magnet out real easy, just using the air. Do it again for you. I also have a few adapters for this thing. This one is threaded and it's bigger. So it presses down on there. Can you see the Allen screw? Yeah, right there's an Allen screw, so if I want to, I can tighten that. Normally I don't. It locks on pretty good. Then a 1/2-inch bolt will thread in there. And that's really good on big plates. Or if I need something on center, I can do it that way. But for today, I have one of these fancy adapters that I machined out. Sets on there, and it's got a little shoulder. And then I can set the disc on there. And we can bolt it down. And now we should have a disc that spins. Interesting. Got just a slight taper. I can get it go down or up. Yeah. Did pretty good. See if we can do better on the next one. Need to readjust a couple things. A lot better cutting that time. What? Her. Well, that was a pretty crappy job of being straight. Up in here, this area, you can see it's wobbly, doesn't match the other side very good, but it's not bad all in all. Didn't have something aligned quite right with my super fancy dolly rig here. But anyway, it's Friday night. It's about 8:30 now. Just worked on this thing a little bit this morning and a little bit this evening. Actually had real work to do in between. So I'm going to call it quits. See when I work on this again. It's now Saturday night. I'm working on this project again. And I've had another setback. I was wondering why this piece of pipe didn't roll very well when I made the cut on this side. And the one side did fine, the other one, boy, it was really fighting me. And I got to noticing that right here, you can see all the paint's missing. And also over here. And if you notice, it's kind of bent. The pipe fits really close all the way the rest of the way around. And it is bent out here bad. The other end of the pipe is sitting on the floor, is fine. The disc just needs a couple little spots ground off of it and it would fit perfectly. So, just has a bend in it right here. The good news is I have another piece of pipe.